So hello everyone, welcome back to the array series. In the previous video, I was discussing this program. Okay, so I will continue from that part. So in the previous video, I have discussed till printf enter the %d digit I and scanf we take value of each and every digit in the using array %d and digit I. Okay, now what is done till now? The each and every digit will be entered by the user. Okay, now we want to arrange these digits in a proper manner, okay, so that in the output screen the number is shown correctly. Okay, so for that we will declare first I is equal to 0. Okay, so it not contains any garbage value or any end value of I, that is a num of digits minus 1. Now we will use while loop. You can use for loop too, let me first tell you using for loop. You can use for loop too. Firstly you will declare I is equal to 0, then there is no need to write this. Okay, there is no need to write this. For I is equal to 0, I is less than num of digits. Okay, I is less than num of digits and I plus plus. Now in this for loop you can uh, the main thing will be this statement will be the main thing which arrange all the digits in a proper manner so that number will be found correctly. Okay, so number is already declared 0. Number is already declared 0 earlier. Okay, so no garbage value will be stored or shown by in the use in the output screen. Okay, so number is equal to number plus digit, that is the array. Okay, that is the array, and here I will be used because again you can see that the for loop is using and the variable name used in the for loop is I, so I will be used digit and then multiplied by pow 10 I. So this mathematical operation, this mathematical function will automatically arrange all the digits in a proper manner so the number formed is correctly. So for accessing this function we have to write its parent header file, that is hash include math.h. Okay, after writing this function will be called from the math.h header file, and it will work correctly. Okay, so this is the code, and now we will declare it. At last these all things are done. At last we want the user to show the correct number. Okay, for showing it we will again use printf. Now coming back to this part, printf slash n, the number is %d. Okay, %d will be used because all these variables are declared in one common data type, that is int data type, and int data type formatted is specified as %d, and the at last final result number will be number. Okay, at last we will use return 0. Okay, so this is the code. Using that you can enter any value from the user and then convert these all digits to a number. Okay, you can go to execute section and compile. You can see that there is no errors and there is no warnings. There is some error in my program right now, that is not this program but in the M application right now, dev c++. I have not updated it, so it is showing a different result. Okay, which you can see that if I go to run section, it will be asked to enter the number of rows. There is some error which I will find out. So this is the code, and you will, when you will write this code in your compiler either in phone or a computer, the output will be right. Okay, so this is this question is done now. Now next, moving to the next question. Okay, so the next question is we have to write a program to find whether the array of integer contains a duplicate number. Okay, so we have to find that the array is containing any number which is written twice or not. Okay, so for example, if there is an array named as any array name, okay, and the elements of the array is 3, 5, 7, 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, so you can clearly see that out uh, except 3, no other elements of the array is repeating more than one. Okay, so only 3 is repeating. Okay, so we have to find that, like this 3 number, how many numbers are repeating in an array. Okay, so this is the main question. We have to find this. So finding this is very easy task, where you have to find the number which is written twice as an element of array, and the position where it is written twice. Okay, so we have to write that. And if it is not present, if there is no number is present to, more than once in the array, then no duplicate or any statement will become there is no duplicate element present in the array. Okay, so what is the expected output? The expected output is, firstly, the user gets a sentence that is enter the size of array. Firstly, the user will enter the all the values. Okay, and then the user will enter all the elements of the array, that is enter the elements of the array. So after entering all these elements, we have to check that a number is repeating twice or not, more than once or not. If it is repeating, we have to print. Okay, if it is repeating, we have to print %d number. Okay, %d number is repeating at %d position. Okay, so you can clearly see in this case, the three number is present in the zeroth index. Okay, so we have not to write this zeroth index. Okay, where it is present next time. Okay, we have to check, and the next time it is present in the fifth index. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth index. Okay, so the %d, that is the expected output, will be like this: 3 is present. Okay, firstly, where 3 is present, it is not necessary to write this. Okay, second time where 3 comes, we have to write that value, or you can say that we have to write the position where next time that same number comes. Okay, so 3 is present at fifth, or you can say that at fifth, at 5 position. Okay, so this is the expected output. And if no such number comes which is present more than once, you can write simply no duplicate is present in the array, simply. Okay, so this is the logic which we have used. Okay, so now the main question is how we can find that a number is present more than once or not. So let's move to this section. So for that, we will use the concept of nested for loop statement. Okay, we will use the concept of nested for loop statement. Firstly, we will declare any variables like I, j. Okay, these I, j is for loop. Okay, we will use two for loop. One for loop will be for the first checking. Okay, and this j nested for loop will be for the second checking. Okay, so okay, so for example, the elements of the array is 3, 9. We will not use comma. 3, 5, 3, 7, 8, 9, 0, 2. Okay, so for example, all the total elements of the array is this: 3, 5, 3, 7, 8, 9, 0, 2. Total 8 elements is present. Okay, the size will be obviously 8 zeroth index to the 7th index. Okay, okay. So the size here is 8. Okay, and why we have declared 2? Because we will use for nested for loop condition. So first for loop will be I is equal to 0 and I is less than 8. Okay, I plus plus, and the second condition will be for j is equal to I plus 1. Okay, j is less than again 8 and j plus plus. So what is this? This is nested for loop statement. Firstly, here the logic is, firstly it will check from the index 0, okay, from the 3, that is index 0, to less than 8, that is index 7. Okay, it will check, and for each value of I, j will move from I plus 1, that is the next position from I. That is, if it is checking from 0th index, then j will check from the 5th index. Okay, from the 5th. Okay, so what I was saying is that if it is in the first for loop, if it is checking from I is equal to 0 to I is less than 8, that is from the 0th index to the 7th index. Okay, so for each value of I, that is if I is equal to 0, j will continue to move from 5 to 2. Okay, so because 3 is equal to 3, it is natural, and we have to not check that same position again. Okay, so because we have to check another position in which the same element is present or not. So 3 is already vacant, 3 is not possible here. So if it is 0, then it will be 0 plus 1, that is from the first index it will start checking for loop. Okay, so for will check from 5 3 7 8 9 0 2. Okay, now I is equal to 0 to I plus plus, then it will be for I is equal to 1. It is 1, then it will check for 5. Okay, so it will be for j is equal to 1 plus 1, that is 2. So it will check from second index, that is from 3 3 7 8 9 0 and 2. Okay, so it will check that is there any present after 5 that is similar to the 5. Okay, if there is any present, it will show. So this is the main logic behind using nested for loop and these two variables, that is I and j. Now we have to check, this is for checking. Okay, now we will again use a if statement. Okay, in if statement we will write the array name. Okay, so let's suppose we have declared any array, that is arr. Okay, we have declared this is the array name. Okay, so the size of array will maybe 10. Okay, then we have to check that if arri for this condition. Okay, for this condition arri is equal to, is double equal to, okay, we have not to assign, we have to check. Okay, double equal to j. Okay, and we are supposed to check not the same position. Okay, if it is 3, then it will check from after 3, that is 5. If it is 0th index, then we'll check from 1. Okay, that's why j is equal to I plus 1 is used in nested for loop statement. So we have to check that it is the compiler not checks the same position again and again. So if it is checking the same position again and again, it's obvious that the same number will come. Okay, so we have to write a statement that it not checks the same position again and again. Okay, so we will write I not equal to j. So it means that the position of I and the position of j never be equal. If it is in the 0th index, j will start from 1. If it is I in the 6th index, then j will start and end. This is the, if it is the size is 8, then it will be only on 7th index. Okay, the ith position and jth position, that is both position, never be equal. Okay, if it is equal, then there is a big error. Okay, so that's why I not equal to j is the condition written over here. Okay, so in that if statement we will use another variable, like we can use flag, and we have to declare it earlier 0. Okay, flag equal to 0. Okay, so this is for identifying that the condition is true or not. If it is true, that is flag is equal to 1. If it is written that flag is equal to 1, then we are supposed to print that printf slash n duplicate number is present in the, okay, it is present in the array. And what is that number? So the number is percent %d, okay, at percent %d position, okay. But according to the demand of question, if you don't want that number which is repeating, you just have to notice the position which is showing the same element twice. You can write a statement, you can edit the statement like that. Duplicate number is present at position, percent %d and percent %d twice. And what will be the position? The variable name is I and j, okay. So this is all about this if statement. Now we have to go to the else statement, okay. So we will close all these for loops, and it is obvious that if we don't use if else statement, there is no means, there is no any foundation to use always else statement. We can declare any other if statement too, okay. So we can simply write that printf, or we can again check that if flag is equal to 0. So it is already declared that flag is equal to 0, and duplicate number is present only if flag is equal to 1, that it will increment from 0 to 1. And if it is already showing after all these things, after passing all these statements and condition, if flag is again showing that it is double equal to, flag is again equal to 0, then it means that there is no duplicate number present in that particular array, okay. So if flag is equal to 0, we have to print that no duplicate number is present in the array, okay. It's that simple. Now we will declare it. So this is just, I have just explained the logic. This is not a complete code. So let's go to the main coding section. So this is the question, and now we are supposed to write the code. So first of all, write the main header files of the C language, okay. Now moving to the same principle which we have discussed earlier, that is this logic. Let's start with declaring the variables. That is the data type being used over here is the int, and the array name is arr, and the size of array is declared 10 and again to give user a chance to enter the size of the array, and flag which is already assigned 0, okay. Now we'll use printf, and in printf we will write enter the size of the array, okay. And then using scanf we will take value from the user, that is the size of the array, okay. And now again we want to take value from the user as element of the array, okay. So we'll use again printf statement, enter the elements of the array. Now for entering the values we're gonna use for loop, and I is less than, this is the main condition loop, and in this condition the size will be declared, and I plus plus, that's the increment, and then you have to use a scanf to take values from the user, and you have to use AND operator and the name of the array, that is arri. Now this task is complete to take value from the user, okay. Now we have to check, okay, this is the main part, we have to check that any number is present duplicate or not. So this is the same code which I will gonna use here. This is the main same logic. So let's start and write it again. So let's start with for I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, okay. And then again for j is equal to I plus 1. All the logic I have already discussed and tell you, okay. I have already discussed you. You can pause the video and go back to this video and watch it again if you don't understand it, or you can comment or message me, WhatsApp group, Telegram group, anywhere. I will be right here for you anytime. Okay. So again, for nested loop, for j is equal to I plus 1, j is less than n, and j plus plus. Okay. Now we're gonna use if statement, that is a conditional loop statement. In if statement, we're gonna check that if any element present is equal to the another is equal to the same element present at the another position in the array or not. Okay, so for that we're gonna check arr I double equal to arj. Now we're gonna also use AND operator, and AND operator will write a condition that the position of I and the position of j never be equal. Okay, why it never be equal, I've already discussed it here. Okay, if you don't understand, pause the video and go back and see it again. Okay, this is all about. And if this condition is true, we will use flag is equal to 1, and if flag is 1, then we will write here that duplicate number is present at %d and %d position. Okay, at %d and %d position, and that %d and %d position is I and j. Now we're gonna write another code, and that code we will write here that there is some fishy mistakes. If a statement never ends with a semicolon, I'm sorry for that. And this is for the if statement. Okay, now we will again check that if flag is equal to 0. Okay, I've already discussed why flag is equal to 0, because flag is equal to 0 is present, is already declared earlier, and if these statements and condition are true, flag will be automatically increased from 0 to 1. And if flag is still 0, it means that all these conditions are false, and if all these conditions are false, it means that there is no duplicate number present in an array. That is, there is no number present in an array that is present at more than one position. That it may be any number like 3, which is present in first position, and it is already present in fifth or sixth position. Okay, it is not like that. Okay, each number is unique, each number is present at only one index, at only one position of an array. Okay, so if flag is equal to 0, we'll use printf /n no duplicate number is present in the array. So this is how the code ends, and at last we're gonna use return 0. Okay, so now let's go to the execute section, and in this execute section, when we will compile it, you can see that there is no errors and there is no warnings, so this code is true. Okay, so I hope you like this video, and if there is any doubt, you can email me, message me in WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, anywhere, and I will write here for you anytime. Okay, so this is the fifth video of the array series, and more is coming soon and sooner. So that's it for today. I hope you like the video, so do share, like and subscribe the channel if you haven't done it yet. So thank you very much, see you next video. Thank you.